Happening now, where the unfolding scandal against New York's governor stands, plus the latest in a vehicle pursuit that ended in a crash yesterday.
Well, it's a very sunny Monday out there, but boy is it chilly, and are the temperatures going to warm up at all? We'll talk about it next as the news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. President Joe Biden says he wants to see the outcome of an investigation into allegations of sexual harassment by Governor Andrew Cuomo. Returning to the White House from a weekend in Delaware, Biden stopped short of asking for the New York's governor's resignation. Instead, he says he believes the investigation by the New York Attorney General should run its course. This is the first time the president had directly weighed in on the allegations against the governor. As Meredith Wood reports, Cuomo is now slamming cancel culture and rejecting growing calls for him to resign as another accuser steps forward.
I'm not going to resign. I was not elected by the politicians. I was elected by the people.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo refusing to resign despite growing calls for him to step down.
People know the difference between playing politics, bowing to cancel culture, and the truth.
Cuomo now facing harassment and sexual assault accusations from multiple women. New York Magazine reports the latest accuser is a former staffer who accuses Cuomo of repeatedly berating her and making suggestive remarks about her looks. Cuomo continues to deny all accusations against him.
I have not had a sexual relationship that was inappropriate, period.
A majority of New York State Congressional Democrats are now calling for Cuomo's resignation. And Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand have joined the calls for the governor's resignation, saying in a joint statement, quote, "It is clear that Governor Cuomo has lost the confidence of his governing partners and the people of New York." President Joe Biden has yet to weigh in on whether or not he thinks Cuomo should resign.
There also is an independent investigation that is ongoing, of course, in the state with subpoena power overseen by the Attorney General, and he certainly supports that moving forward.
I'm Meredith Wood reporting.
Now, Meredith, thank you. Again, U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer, Kirsten Gillibrand now joining the calls for the governor's resignation. In New York State's Constitution saying that if he were to resign, Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul would serve as acting governor. That would also be the same if Cuomo was removed from office. An Andrew Cuomo departure would mean an elevated role for Hochul, the Buffalo native, which State Senator George Borrello says would be a welcomed change of scenery for state government. WNY News Now recently interviewed Borrello as allegations against Cuomo continue to rise. Borrello explaining that Hochul, who previously served as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, would be a, quote, capable interim governor.
I think she's a genuinely caring and concerned person. The governor set the bar very low as far as being able to work with him. The governor is certainly a difficult person to work with. He likes to rule through fear and intimidation, and ultimately, he has been made it very difficult to have a cooperative relationship between the legislature and the executive branch.
Now, Borrello, in addition, introduced a bill last week that would ban any elected official in New York State from publishing a book detailing their time in office while still holding the position. Well, a 21-year-old Jamestown man is facing several charges following a vehicle pursuit that police say ended in a crash yesterday. New York State Police tell us troopers attempted to pull over Jonathan DeJesus Godnox's vehicle on Route 60 for an alleged traffic violation. Police say the man did not stop, however, fleeing at a high rate of speed. Troopers say he continued for several miles before eventually crashing in a ravine. While searching his property, police allegedly found a bag of methamphetamine and a set of brass knuckles. Furthermore, troopers tell us the license plate on the vehicle was reported stolen out of Michigan. Well, it's been 1 year since a COVID-19 state of emergency was declared here in Chautauqua County. Over the weekend, I took a look back at the year and some of what we have been through.
This is in no need to panic. We want to make sure everybody remains calm, but what we are doing is being vigilant here as a county and preparing for the future.
That's Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendell, who on Sunday, March 15th, 2020, declared a state of emergency as the coronavirus pandemic began to impact parts of western New York. Wendell was joined by members of his just-established coronavirus response team, with County Health Director Christine Schuyler and Chautauqua County Sheriff Jim Quattrone, among others. At the time, there were 2 people in precautionary quarantine awaiting their COVID-19 test results with no confirmed positive cases.
I like to put faith in our residents that they realize that, as Christine had said, stay home, hunker down. This is a time to, play board games, watch videos, really re-engage with a family and, share time. But again, really limiting your public as far as, dinners, etc., and large gatherings.
In the weeks to come, schools, businesses, and anything deemed non-essential was closed, part of New York State's on pause directive. Those terms not sitting well with some New Yorkers who took to the streets of Jamestown in the coming months, demanding a reopening.
Brooklyn Square is not Brooklyn, and Lakewood is not Lackawanna. So why have these general sweeping mandates when we could be doing just as good, I think, health-wise, and even better economically if we had a more nuanced, localized approach?
And as for those businesses who remained open, many switching production to make vital supplies for those on the front lines.
We're offering these signs. They can be printed on a rigid plastic material so it stands up on its own.
Terms like social distancing becoming the new norm, with grocery stores running low on high-demand items like toilet paper, paper towels, and cleaning products.
I want to remind the public as they're out in the community, as they're out at the stores or wherever they may be going, to exercise respect and be considerate of others, recognizing that we do not need to panic. We can go to the store and do our normal shopping, but to do it when we need to and not out of a panic.
And now a year later, 7,775 residents coming down with the virus, with more than 7,500 of them recovering and over 100 connected deaths. With the advent of 3 approved vaccines, new cases appear to have reached a plateau, with the county health department reporting around 20 new cases a day.
From north to south, east to west, that we will unite, we will help one another get through this, and we will be a stronger Chautauqua County.
Officials say we're now headed in the right direction, albeit there still remains limits on gatherings here in New York State, along with limited capacities for restaurants and other businesses because of COVID-19 concerns. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we get to check up on some local news headlines. And today, certainly a date that many will remember. And Dakota, I know we over the weekend were talking a little bit and into really previous weeks leading up to this about how much has changed in the last year, and so dramatically too. If you think about this week last year, technically this date would have been a Sunday, but into what is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we had that week of where we went 50% capacity, 25% capacity, and then down to all non-essential businesses shuttered. And that was really a wake-up call, I think, for a lot of people. I could say for myself, I didn't see it coming. I remember shopping at Wegmans and thinking to myself, where is the toilet paper? I mean, is this really what people... It'd be similar to like pre a hurricane when you would be stocking up on things, or even a snowstorm. And I don't think that's such a bad thing in Western New York. We don't always stock up when we hear of a big storm coming because we know how to deal with it and we can still get supplies. But it was something. And looking back on it now, so much has changed, and I think there is a lot of positive coming out of it, where now maybe we can do things more efficiently. And I know we mentioned that the time we were really impacted as to our routine being essential news reporters was when we had to quarantine ourselves after I tested positive and had COVID-19. And there was concern that because you and I work in the same studio space, albeit socially distant, you don't know what could have happened. And you never caught it, never had it. And here we are today still moving forward. And I think that's the biggest thing is no matter what happens, we got to stay strong and we got to move forward.
Right. And I mean, you can't worry about kind of, what happened last year and worry about that. It's what happened is what happened. And now we're in that phase where we're moving forward and hopefully we'll get back to at least what we classify as normalcy.
Right.
Hopefully.
And I really think it will be defined in 3 phases here. You're going to have pre-COVID, during COVID, and post-COVID.
Right.
And I pray to God we're in that post-COVID.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't think things are going to be the same like they were just pre-COVID. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be different, but yet familiar. Right. Like, for example, we're still going to be able to do certain things, but we're going to be doing them in a different way. Right. And, I kind of think maybe virtual schooling, virtual workplaces. Yeah. I mean, it's been said for the past 3 decades that the internet would kind of replace all that stuff. And
here
maybe,
it is.
And maybe we're just at that point now.
Yeah. Let us know what you think about all this and more in the comments below. Good to see Samantha. Good to see Linda, Erica, and Teresa as well chiming in. Who knew it was going to be toilet paper? Right? For real. Like, I still don't quite understand.
Well,
I don't get it.
Well, I think the idea behind it, and I'm not defending the hoarders,
right?
But I think the idea behind it was when the state shut down, I think everybody thought everything was shutting down.
Right, like in Italy where we'd be trapped in our homes.
So I think that might have been the idea behind hoarding the toilet paper.
And it's something you need. I mean, you can't eat it, but you definitely need it.
Yes, but you don't need to hoard it either.
No.
A package is enough.
Right.
Anyway, let's take
unless it's not.
Yeah, well, unless there's, I mean, if you go through a whole package of toilet paper very quickly,
you have something
you have other problems.
You have something other than COVID.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the camera from Findlay Lake. Lots of sunshine out there, but boy, is it cold. 29 degrees, and that dew point reading is correct. 1 is the dew point, so the air is very dry. An area showing up on the satellite and radar composite. It's going to stay that way through much of the day today. We topped out at 39 yesterday. Man, it was a cold start. 15 here in town is where we started the day, but it felt a whole lot colder than that. 82 and 3 below zero are the record highs and lows for this day. So through the afternoon, cold in capital letters because it's going to be much colder than it has been. Lots of sunshine, though. High clouds will start to filter in later in the day. Bit of a wind chill. 28 on the highest hills to 37 at the Lake Erie shoreline. We get into some wintry mix tomorrow. We'll talk about if it will accumulate, how much, plus that 42 degrees and sunny 7-day forecast later in the show. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you. Well, today, teachers in every state and the District of Columbia are now eligible to get that COVID-19 vaccination. Education leaders saying it's a big step in the right direction, but as our Britt Conway reports, getting kids back to school, a total of 5 days a week, still very much a work in progress.
Starting today, teachers in every state are eligible for COVID-19 vaccines. The vaccine rollout for teachers had been slow at times, a hard-fought battle for many.
We were so pleased to hear President Biden say that we should prioritize educators.
Also happening little by little.
Most of our schools are already back to in-person learning.
But not necessarily 5 days a week yet. So when could that happen?
I'd like to think that in many places we can do that this spring.
But deciding how to do that varies widely, and not everyone is on the same page, even if they're in the same district.
There are other districts in San Diego who have opened up, only to have to shut down within a few days.
More and more evidence is suggesting that we can reopen our schools safely.
And that's part of the challenge. The science is evolving. Right now, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention look at community spread and rely on 5 strategies for reopening safely: universal masking, physical distancing, washing hands, cleaning facilities, and improving ventilation, along with contact tracing, isolation, and quarantine. And as the CDC learns more,
they will be giving guidelines according to the data that they have.
Another challenge is more straightforward: money.
Now with the American Rescue Plan, I'm confident it's going to get done.
The smile you see on my face is the light at the end of this very dark tunnel.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Britt, thank you. The Education Secretary says an education summit is scheduled before the end of the month. That'll bring together experts and leaders from school districts around the country to talk about challenges and successes during reopening. Well, as for the vaccine, the pace of COVID-19 vaccinations is increasing dramatically each day, with 107 million doses now having been administered nationwide, according to the White House's COVID-19 data director. The weekend total of shots in arms has risen by nearly 6 million. That's an 11% increase over the last weekend. 3 of our 4 largest single-day increases in vaccine administration were recorded Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Just under 70 million Americans now have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 shot, 37 million people part of the fully vaccinated group. While that's well over 10% of the U.S. population, Dr. Anthony Fauci is saying at least 70% of the shots needed to achieve herd immunity still have to be given out. Well, next here, have you received your stimulus check yet? If not, listen up. Important details. And later, good news for a local theater who's preparing to reopen their doors after nearly a year closed. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues on this sunny Monday afternoon.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Honest John's has what you're looking for. When you want it good, we're gonna give you lots more.
From freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has what you're looking for. And now 2 great locations, East 2nd Street and Fairmount Avenue. Order takeout or delivery today online at honestjohns.pizza.
You're gonna get it good at Honest John's.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
New York Senator Kristen Gillibrand is pushing to update one of the largest federally funded nutrition programs. In a letter to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, she urges the agency to review and increase the value of WIC food packages. Since 1974, when that program was started, Gillibrand says it has earned a reputation as one of the most successful federally funded nutrition programs nationwide. However, she says that food packages have not been revised since 2014, and it's time for an update. Almost 250,000 New Yorkers are WIC recipients, and half of the infants born in the state before the pandemic were part of the program. Well, some Americans will see extra money in their bank accounts within the next 5 days, as John Lawrence reports the first batch of stimulus payments from Biden's administration's $1.9 trillion COVID package now rolling out.
Good afternoon. President Joe Biden says the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 will give the COVID-stricken U.S. economy a much-needed boost.
It changes the paradigm. For the first time in a long time, this bill puts working people in this nation first. It's not hyperbole, it's a fact.
Direct deposits are going out first, with $1,400 for eligible people who make less than $75,000, heads of households who earn less than $112,500, and married couples who bring in less than $150,000.
And you have kids under the age of 6, you will get an additional $3,600 over the next year. And if you have kids aged 6 to 17, you will get an additional $3,000 per child over the next year. And of course, for unemployment, that $300 per week extra will continue until September 6th.
The IRS will base the amount sent out on either 2019 or 2020 tax returns.
You really need to sharpen your pencil up here this weekend if you haven't done your taxes and ask yourself, did I make more income in 2019 or 2020? Did my marital status change?
Critics of the plan say the $1.9 trillion package is too costly.
We're doing damage to the future of this country by spending dramatically more money than we obviously need.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
John, thank you. The stimulus payments cut off around $80,000 or more per year in married couples who bring in $160,000 or more, regardless of the number of children they have. Starting today, people can check the status of their payments by going to IRS Get My Payment online. Well, it seemed like everyone knew they were in, and Bonaventure proved that yesterday with a victory against VCU to clinch the Atlantic 10 Tournament Championship, getting an automatic bid for the NCAA tourney. The Bonnie's men's basketball team had to play the waiting game on Selection Sunday. The team took to the 9th seed in the East region and will face off seeded LSU in the opening round. The game's turning point occurred when Kyle Lofton buried a jump shot and followed with a three-pointer to make it 46-34, with 12:03 remaining. Bonaventure is a tough region overall in the East. If they beat LSU, the road doesn't get any easier. They'll most likely face the first-seeded Michigan Wolverines in the second round. That's a difficult task, but the team is taking it one step at a time, understanding the challenges ahead. Bonaventure and LSU will meet this Saturday at 1:45 in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Well, the Fredonia Opera House will host its first live performance since the COVID-19 shutdown later this month. The Fredonia Opera House Performing Arts Center will stream the live performance concert on their website on Sunday, March 21st at 7:30. The show, opening back up to Broadway, features selections from musical theater classics as well as compilatory blockbusters, including things like Hamilton, Rent, Waitress, Come From Away, and even Frozen. The show is the brainchild of Opera House board member Jennifer Davis. The concert will be live streamed, which will be presented as live as it happens on their stage. Tickets are $16 per household and can be purchased online at fredoniaopera.org. A link to view the performance will be emailed to ticket buyers a few hours prior to the show's curtain. Opened in 1891, the Fredonia Opera House is a member-supported non-for-profit located in the Village Hall. Certainly exciting to get back to the arts. Thanks for joining us for WNY News Now as we get a check of some local headlines this afternoon, and part of that is the weather. It plays a big role. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us with more on our forecast. And Dakota, this Monday, it seems like it's sunny out there. It looks like it, but still feeling that winter chill.
Yes, I mean, the sun is what we call deceptive, where it really doesn't warm you up too much. But how about yesterday? Sean Sweatman, who pilots the Storm Interceptor, how about the sun going down over Barcelona Beach? And where is the ice on Lake Erie? It's gone. I mean, all that warm weather that we had recently had melted all that ice on Lake Erie. There's only just a small little hunk of ice near the Buffalo metro area, and I'll show you that right here on the satellite imagery here. This was from Saturday where we had all the clear skies. This is really the only piece of ice left. This little itty bitty piece right here that's up basically near the Buffalo breakwall, that's pretty much it, and even the ice on Chautauqua Lake has started to melt away. So the ice concentration on Lake Erie is down to 1.1%, basically no ice on the lake, minus that little piece near Buffalo, and that should hopefully melt here pretty soon. And then when that melts away, they'll ultimately take the ice boom out of Lake Erie. Lots of sunshine downtown right now, but boy, that is a very deceptive sun. 25 as a noon hour right now, northeast wind of 10, so that creates a wind chill of 15 degrees. So it's another day of jacket on, and look at that dew point. 1 lonely degree. That means the air is relatively dry when the dew point is down relatively that low. So what's going on here is this is the next system that's going to be coming our way tonight and tomorrow. This is our next frontal system, low pressure area back to Kansas. This is going to be moving through, and this is going to produce some wintry precipitation over the next several hours. So let's talk about it here on Future Scan. So nothing through the day. Now we will see the advance of a few high clouds later in the afternoon, but we should stay dry. Tonight should stay dry mainly after midnight. We may get into a chance for a couple rain showers, maybe a few snow flurries mixed in there from time to time, but the better chance of precipitation is going to be tomorrow, where you see this pink area right here. That could be some mixture of sleet, maybe a little bit of freezing rain, and some snow as well. Also, the blue is the snow area, green is the rain area, and that'll continue through the day. Tomorrow ultimately pulls away as the storm system moves away. A few more light wintry mix snow showers for Tuesday night, and then that should start to taper off on Wednesday. So the overall ice accumulation is not going to be too high, but there could be enough ice accumulation here to produce some slick spots, maybe about 3/100 of an inch around Jamestown, 5/100 of an inch around Randolph. Again, it's relatively low, but it is enough to possibly create some slick spots through the day on Tuesday. So watch out for that if you're going anywhere on Tuesday. There could be a few patches of maybe black ice, especially on the roadways. So through the afternoon today, we should get up into at least the lower 30s, but that sun is very deceptive out there. And again, even with a light wind with cold temperatures, that's still going to create a wind chill. How about the future? The next 7 days is coming up right now, brought to you by 42 degrees and sunny, 41 tomorrow, basically mixed terrain. Milder on St. Patrick's Day, 47. Another chance for wintry mix Thursday, 48. And then look at the temperatures go up by the weekend. We're talking maybe upper 60s by Sunday. We'll take a break. Be right back.
First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smokin' deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news. It's not just what we say, it's what we do.
Local first. It isn't just our slogan. It's our mindset every single day. So whether you're watching our daily live streams or staying up to date with reports on our website and mobile app, you'll always see the same attention to detail from reporters who passionately care about our community, who have one goal in mind: to always put the facts first.
For me, it's more than just getting the forecast right. What I love the most about my job is that I come into work every day to help break down the weather, letting people know how this is going to impact their day. We take pride that First Defense Weather is the only local weather team in the Southern Tier. We don't just copy and paste our weather from outside sources. Every part of our forecast is handmade right here in-house, something our team really takes pride in.
What matters to you matters to us. Every story, every day. WNY News Now, where coverage comes first. With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Welcome back. More than 50 million of us suffer from seasonal allergies each year, and if you're one of them, you might be already feeling the effects today. Pollen beginning to pop up, but what can we do now to help us later? Andy Gaither with some tips.
It's that time of year again. Spring is in the air, literally.
Here we go with our next several months of pollen season.
Tackle your allergies early before symptoms start. Do your doctor recommended therapy about 1 to 2 weeks before pollen season, says Dr. Flavia Hoyt, an allergist at National Jewish Health.
The idea there is really to just kind of get ahead of the inflammation, not let the inflammation start up so that you're not kind of chasing your tail throughout the season.
It's especially important to protect your lungs now during the pandemic. Dr. Hoyt says allergies don't appear to put a person at higher risk for more severe COVID-19, but she says when your airways are inflamed, you're less able to clear viruses.
The lower the inflammation in the airway, the better the airway can function. And part of that functioning is really clearing anything that comes in the nose that needs to get pushed back out.
And since some allergy symptoms can overlap with those of COVID-19, Dr. Hoyt says to call your doctor if you have any questions.
If you have any concerns, any new symptoms, any symptoms that feel weird, different, more severe than normal, certainly we can help guide you through understanding, is this allergies, is this possibly COVID-19?
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, Mandy, thank you. Doctors say it's also important to know what triggers your allergies. Minimizing exposure to those triggers can also help. I know Dakota and I both suffer from pretty good seasonal allergies, and it's just around the corner.
Thank you for reminding me. Like I really needed to be reminded of that.
Right.
But it's like, my allergies are like so bad. I have like yearly allergies to me because it's like there's always something every season.
Whether it's dust or pollen or both, it's like, here we are. What are we going to do? Just muddle through. And I have this Flonase stuff, which I really recommend. It works very well to clear my nose and keep it open. Because really, as long as that is good, then I don't sound like I'm sick. Well, that's the issue.
Well, you see, I kind of have Flonase as well, because, you know, I don't really use
Works
it
well.
for my
Highly
allergies.
recommended.
You see, because I don't really use it for my allergies. I mainly use it to help my ears drain because
Right.
I tend to have, you know, high wax buildup, but I forget to use it.
Right.
So
It's important. You got to keep your regimen
I just take
going.
Zyrtec.
Yeah,
It's just
Zyrtec's
like, okay.
good too. I have to switch around because it almost is like my body builds a little memory of some of
Right.
these allergy medications.
immunity, yeah.
Let us know what you think about this and more in the comments down below. Great to see all of you. I really wanted to quickly address Joe's comment because we were talking about earlier getting life back to normal, right? A year later now with COVID-19. He asked if sports will be coming back. Absolutely. We hope so. As soon as we start getting some local games and we can get reporters to those games, we'll start to bring those on the broadcast. So I'm excited. At this point, you know, let's move on and obviously remember everybody who was directly impacted by COVID-19. But we're stronger together, and I think we'll get there. So we appreciate you tuning in today. That's going to do it for Dakota and I. Of course, News 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. We are back tomorrow. Hope to see you then.